Greetings folks, it's building time. Today we got an update for my stealth archer build. Before we begin, a word from our sponsor, Pasta. How does this build go against bosses? Stealth sucks the chrome off of a 57 Chevy bumper. To quote my favorite VTuber. Oh no, not anymore, because Sanctuary of Sarras gave us one of the most powerful items in this game currently, the Undertow Bloom Vest, a crafted item that will magically turn a very situational stat like sneak damage into critical damage, but more importantly, will make every point invested in perception twice as strong, and perception was quite good already. Oh, moreover, if you really dislike perception stacking, do not worry. You don't have to go all in, just hit 100% crit, which is extremely easy on an archer anyway, and the best part, you can play this build really with any bow you want. Don't like Deadeye, use Siege. Siege is too slow, get any of the new bow from Sarras. Do you want to play with Wraith Shot? Triple threat, just do it. As long as you don't mess your crit chance, it will be good. Plus, you will have to choose any of those bows to level up, because Deadeye comes at the end of Act 2. In this video, I will go through gear location, attributes, perks, and I will have a dedicated leveling section. Outbots, roll out. Okay, let's quickly go through the gear. First of all, the chest item. This build works around Undertow Bloom Vest, so if you do not have the DLC, check the description, you can play my previous build that doesn't use items from Sarras. Now, before you rush in Sarras immediately, this chest will scale better when you are a higher level, because when your sneak damage is low, when your critical chance is low, this chest is useless to you. Its effects are maximized once everything else is in place. Before you can use this chest, of course, make yourself a Corpsebinder chest guard. It's amazing when you're low level, a lot of damage, and it will help you a lot with stamina sustain. For helmet, in New Game Plus, get yourself a Far Side Hood in Act 2, the first bounty that you meet on your way to the city. Before that, Corpsebinder helmet is also incredibly good because it has lower requirement, and you will use this for a lot of time. Let's look at the back item. Now, in final setup, I will advise you to use Burrower, because we're gonna combine Burrower with Undertow, so it will give us a little bit of retail damage. If you do not want to craft it, you're gonna use Camouflage Net in Act 1. Again, all items in Act 1 I will show you in the leveling section, don't worry. You can also use a Dual Knight Cape. For Amulet, I am still using Amulet of Novice Ogre Hunter, especially in New Game Plus is 63%. You can do the quest for the Fearful Man in Act 2, and you need to side with him, so you will need to commit an act of, well, you see what the quest wants, so up to your morality, my dude. Cronest from Sarras is also good. You can also use a status effect amulet, the fire one from Act 3, or the ice one that I don't have from Sarras. In Act 1, you can also use the Hunter's Amulet. Let's look at our bow. Deadeye has an incredibly high damage, but more importantly, it's a light bow. If you're using a heavy bow, you will need some draw speed. Usually we get that one from gloves. You will need to change our gloves, and I will go that in a second. Deadeye comes after you finish Act 2. However, Deadeye is only worth if you can cap critical strike, and you should cap critical strike. Otherwise, it's not gonna be good, because if you do not get those sweet money shot, those headshots, you'll do no damage. Assassin can be used. Draven in Act 2 is an incredibly good bow, will give you a lot of critical chance, especially good when you're low level and the stats required are not insanely high, and we don't need really to respec or move stuff around to use Draven. Nightshade. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, Pasta, you're using a chest that transforms half of your sneak damage into critical damage. Why not using Nightshade? You can use Nightshade. The issue is that Nightshade flat damage is really low. Doesn't mean that Nightshade is useless. Of course, I played a build with it, and if you upgrade it and you stack damage on top, it will work. So it's an option if you want to play with Nightshade. Rainbow is also a very good choice. Previous build, I suggested Siege. I do not suggest Siege anymore, because the damage difference between Siege and Deadeye is not insanely big, but the draw speed of Deadeye is really faster. Now, onto the gloves. You have many options here. However, in order of leveling in this case, Once you're a baby archer, hitting wooden arrows against zombies, Archer Quick and Gloves is your best bet. It's super easy to get in the drowned village, and well, it also comes with a free bow. After this, put yourself in the mentality. I am playing Tainted Grail, I am playing this build. I need to go and collect bones around the cemetery and from drowns so I can get the skulls and the bones to make the Corpsebinder set. If you don't make Corpsebinder, I don't want to hear complaints. Well, Pasta, this build sucks. I kinda went naked against the boss at level 13 and I got shredded. Well, of course. What do you mean? Crow, you need to start in Act 1 here. You talk with Vidar, and then after you talk with Vidar, you need to betray Vidar. You need to become a little scoundrel, because the theme about this build, if you want those items, is you need to do shady things. So if you side with the woman named itself, through the entire story, you will get the crow set at the end of Act 3. In alternative, Martyr's gloves from the first enemy in Sarras are also quite good. 4 pants, Ashen Veil is good. However, the problem with Ashen Veil is that it comes literally at the end of Act 3. So you need to play the entire game, and then you need to get Ashen Veil Greaves by doing the serve last graveyard or tombs or crypt or whatever. Before you can get Assassin, you can use Crow, part of the same set with Self. You can use Dual Night Trousers, you will need more points in Endurance. It's optional. You can get Nightbleed as well in Act 3. This one you need to dig them out when you do the Teud village stuff in one of the instances. So if you do the instance and you don't harvest this one up, you cannot get them again. Walker Warbones is also a good option, however it puts too many points in strength for my liking, but they're usable. Okay, for boots, in the previous build I made Bloodsoaks. We are still using Bloodsoak. Those are crafted from Act 1. You can also use Assassin when you get them. Or you can get in Act 3 the Swin Blood Tracker. Rings, Strong Arrow from the Hanged Man quest. And then we're gonna use the tutorial ring. Now, of course, there is gonna be a problem, but I did already play through the tutorial. Am I bricked? Well, of course not. In case you cannot get the Archer's Ring, we have options, of course. Wants to apply dot to use the points in the Practicality tree, the extra 30% damage. We have Little Crit, get a Marksman treasure in Act 2 from the bounty enemy. So, if you do not have the Archer's Ring, it's alright. Don't panic. Everything will be fine. Now, let's look at the attributes, then the skill tree, and then the Sarras Tree. Okay, these are my final stats. Now I know what you're thinking. Jesus, 90 point in perception? Yes. Now, if you don't want to invest that heavily in perception, you can always put more points in dexterity. This is what I did. Like, I didn't have really that much trouble, because even if you go over cap on your crit, you still get 8% sneak damage and 5% critical damage, basic. This is what I like to do. We're gonna go with 6 points in dexterity, 5 endurance. This is enough to use Sanguine Sting. If you want to use a different bow, like if you want to use a strength bow or something else, then you will need to put points differently. 10 points in dexterity, 10 points in endurance. If you're using pieces of the crow set, don't forget, before you equip them, or any of the Morin sets, you will have 3 points in practicality. If you are not using those, don't waste points in practicality. Then we're gonna go with 6 points in strength, 10 points in perception. And like this, you almost satisfied all your requirements, but we are not done yet. If you equip Bloodsoaked, you will need 12 points in perception, and then you will need to hit 15 dexterity. Now, let's look at our skill tree. We start in dexterity. Well, of course, right? Archer, Strong Arm of the Bowmaster, Marksman, then proper draw technique, Eagle Eye, and then Unnatural Focus. Strong Back, we go in practicality. If you're using a Blood Ring, Status Arrows, use Exploitation Affliction. Then Perception, 1 point in Extra Lucky, 1 point in Critical Cascade. Then we go back in dexterity, Lucky Shot, Deadly Aim. This is quite important if you're good at aiming, but we will still take it, because thanks to cheater trick shot, you can get weak spot damage without hitting the weak spot. Piercing Volley. Now, in the strength tree, at the moment this still works. Don't ask me if this is gonna get nerfed, I have no idea. This has been like this forever. 1 point in Brutish Fighter, and then Mighty Blows. Mighty Blows will allow you to deplete the stamina of targets that have a stamina bar. Not every boss have a stamina bar, but most enemies do have a stamina bar. 1 point in Godly Physique, but wait, why? Weapon of the Great Theft is a small damage increase, still a damage increase. Then we're gonna put 2 points in Executioner, 3 points in Increased Vitality. As soon as you lock Red Death in Act 2, Plague Warden is one of the most powerful perks in this game. Then we go in Perception. We finally invest in the Stealth Tree. 1 point in Silent Hunter, Assassin Doctrine, that's a lot of damage. And then this one, Mercantile Maxed, reusable resources, especially if we make expensive arrows. And then Crafty, because, well, it's annoying to go back and craft arrows, to be honest. In Perception, we max Extra Lucky, go for the Eyes, Respite and Cruelty, Deep Wounds maxed, Critical Aegis, Bloodthirst, Swift and Fierce, back them up, Powerful Draw, 1 point in Healthy Appetite, Rejuvenation, All Mother, Unnatural, Born in Armor maxed. Now, instead of doing the points I did earlier, you can do this directly. Crying Pain, Grieve Tie Enemies, Whipping Success, Long Regret, this one, that still doesn't have a name. And that's pretty much it for our setup. Rest of the points are free, you can put them whatever. Now I just hope they didn't forget any points here, but it is what it is, right? Well, probably not. Now let's look at the Sarras Tree. Okay, here is the Sarras Tree. We have 8 points, you can always get more if you want. I play as a rogue, you could technically play as a warrior with the right side and some of the middle side. Or you can even play as a mystic if you want. It's more towards status effects, and we do not benefit from this perk this much because we are not using X Grip Vambrace to convert. So, Frailty Broker. This one is amazing because we start to stack Frailty. What does Frailty does? Well, it's extra damage. That's pretty much it. Don't try to think too much about it. It's fine. Frailty Expert for extra Frailty. And that's it from the left side. Afterwards, Dependable Luck, but not for the crit. From Death from Nowhere, Perfect Draw, and then Speed Demon is optional. Raising Exhaustion, which we really don't need because this build was able to stagger before this, but it's extra stagger. And then Breaking Ball. And that is my suggestion for you. Now let's look at the best start and then the location of all the items. For life path in the tutorial you can pick what you want. I picked with traditional archer for this reason, but this means that I will need to go and loot a blood transfusion in a side room later. Get the bonus HP statuette. There is really nothing mandatory that we desperately need in the tutorial.
Sage and... Reveal yourself! You fueled my hunt.
If you want, you can kill Caradoc by getting him stuck on the boat. There are several powerful items that you can get in Act 1 that will help you a little bit. However, due to how I put the early stats early on, you will lack perception to do this. There is of course one free perception book that you can get in the crypt on a barrel, and then there are always bonus skill points that you can buy, one in the Dalaraita camp from Ogre, and then in Act 2 from Bonksy and Filth in the main city. There are several bows that you can get before Sanguine Sting. Get yourself a wood cutting axe because you will need to chop a lot of wood. Usually they drop from bandits or you will find them in container. They're really not too hard to find. There are 2 chopping stations, one in the keep and the other one is next to the hunter on your way to the crypt, to the graveyard. Don't forget to, of course, buy the recipes to make yourself arrows. Wooden arrows are fine for the early game, and you can always loot more arrows from containers and bandits, which will also drop feathers, one of the other components necessary. Both leather is plentiful, there are plenty of deers and even wolves you can kill around. Map Genie has the location of all the mobs you can find in Act 1, and even the nodes if you want to gather yourself iron. So that is mainly up to you. Another important thing is that the vendors, the alchemist and the chef, will have their inventory reset once a day. If you're in need of food or alchemical materials, you can always just buy them and then wait for them to reset. In case you do not know this, when you craft, you have the option to consume more materials to increase the probability of having a better result. So in the case, for example, of Corpsebinder, you can just farm extra leather or skeleton bones. There are plenty of skeletons in the area around the abandoned fortress and around the crypt, so you can always go there, kill everything, wait a couple of days, go back in, and farm as much stuff as you need. It's really not that complicated. Keep in mind is that if you're using Sanguine Sting, have a steady supply of food with you, or get yourself a health recovery relic. But that one is melee option, just get used to making food, it's so easy anyway. And undead are gonna be immune to bleed, so keep that in mind.
You to respect.
Oh, welcome to well, you know, here the wicked right.
Are they gone? No. I've been there. I don't know.
Who goes there? Your money or your life?
Oh. Thanks. They keep. All right, so.
Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and maybe even consider subscribing for more gaming content of different and various quality. Have fun playing Tainted Grail. If you have any question, let me know in the comments below. And I will see you in the next video.